Greetings to all lovers of legends, myths, and folklore. Today, we are returning to India to learn more about fascinating creatures known as Nagas. Nagas are quite frequently encountered in modern culture, which only adds to the interest surrounding them. But before we begin, let me remind you that you can find other videos on mythology on our channel. Nagas, so to speak, are demigods, and they have a unique appearance. Instead of legs, they have serpent tails, while their upper bodies are human, just like ours. There are versions where Nagas are depicted with serpent torsos and one or several human heads. Personally, I prefer the first variation. However, that's not all there is to know about the appearance of Nagas. Among other things, they can take the form of a human or transform into an ordinary snake, such as a cobra. That covers their physical appearance. Yes, there are other images where the Nagas look like Medusa Gorgon or a mermaid, but we will not dwell on them today. The origin story of the Nagas is far more intriguing. Once, Kadru, the wife of the sage Kashyapa, desired to give birth to thousands of children who would be mighty and strong. And after 500 years, she gave birth to thousands of sons who appeared as gigantic snakes. Kadru's children were powerful and wise, possessing magical abilities. However, Kashyapa had another wife named Vinata who envied Kadru and desired to give birth to only 2 children, but ones who would surpass Kadru's offspring in fame and strength. And so, Vinata laid 2 eggs. However, after waiting for 500 years, she lost patience and, without waiting for the birth of her children, broke one of the eggs. Inside was a partially developed child, whom they named Aruna. Enraged, the son cursed his mother, saying, "Mother, you were so eager to have a son that you gave birth to me disfigured and weak. For this, you shall lose your freedom and serve as a maid to the very woman you sought to rival. Only the second son will save you from this humiliation, provided, mother, you do not break the egg and mutilate his body and limbs as you did to me. If you truly desire to have a son of unmatched power, you must patiently await his birth, which will occur after 500 years." Then Aruna ascended into the sky and became the herald of the sun, appearing every day at dawn. And at the appointed time, Garuda was born. At that moment, both sisters saw Uchcheshravas, the divine horse, emerging during the churning of the ocean. Kadru initiated a dispute with Vinata over the horse's color. The stake of the wager was Vinata's servitude. They postponed the resolution of the dispute to the next day and went to their respective homes. Kadru, who claimed that the horse's tail was black, ordered 1,000 of her sons to approach its tail in the form of black hairs. When they refused, Kadru cursed them, predicting their burning during a serpent sacrifice. Thus, Kadru emerged victorious in the dispute, as the horse's tail was indeed filled with numerous black hairs, and Vinata became her slave. Once, Kadru commanded Vinata to carry her to the abode of the serpents located within the depths of the ocean. Vinata bore Kadru on her back, and at the command of his mother, Garuda carried the serpents. Upon reaching the destination, Garuda learned from his mother about the reason for their enslavement. The serpents proposed a ransom to Garuda. He had to bring them the Amrita, the drink of the gods that grants immortality. Of course, the gods, led by Indra, were displeased that Garuda had come to them demanding the Amrita, and a battle ensued, in which Garuda emerged victorious. He obtained the Amrita and flew to rescue his mother. However, on his way, he encountered Vishnu, who showed favor to Garuda and offered him a boon. Garuda wished to be immortal and eternally youthful without consuming the Amrita, as well as to surpass Vishnu. Upon receiving these boons, he offered Vishnu a reciprocal gift. Vishnu wished for a chariot, placing Garuda on his banner, thereby elevating him above himself. Then Garuda made peace with Indra and agreed to return the Amrita to the gods after freeing Vinata from slavery. Upon returning to the Nagas, Garuda demanded that they perform a ritual purification before touching the sacred vessel containing the elixir of immortality. The Nagas went to take their baths, and in the meantime, Indra stole the Amrita. Naturally, the Nagas uncovered the deceit and became furious. But then, one of them noticed that drops of Amrita had covered the kusha grass where the vessel had stood. The Nagas licked the drink of the gods from the grass, but the kusha grass has very sharp edges, hence the Nagas have had forked tongues ever since. The Nagas reside in the underground realm of Patala, and their capital city is Bhagavati, where they have built magnificent palaces adorned with gold and precious gemstones. The wise serpent Vasuki, the king of the Nagas, rules in that city. Of course, not all Nagas settled in Patala, some live in underground waters, rivers, and even at the bottom of the ocean. This is why people consider them as water spirits. It is believed that they bring rain, thus serving the fertility of the land, but they can also cause floods. They also appear on the surface, guarding treasures and hidden treasures. Moreover, Nagas are a rather wealthy race, and they are closely associated with the gods, skillfully enjoying their favor. The female Nagas, Naganis, or as they are also called, Nagayanas, are incredibly attractive and often seduce mortal men. And human women cannot resist the handsome Nagas, from whom they often bear children. Many distinguished Indian families claim Nagas as their ancestors. There are also tribes that consider themselves descendants of Nagas, and the names of these tribes and their territories distinctly resonate with the root Naga. In general, the image of Nagas is quite positive, both in Buddhism and Hinduism. Frescoes and sculptures depicting Nagas can be found in abundance in almost all Asian countries. As for Buddhism, Nagas play a special role. For example, when Prince Gautama meditated under the Bodhi tree and attained enlightenment, becoming the Buddha, a storm erupted, and it rained for 7 days. The Naga king Mokalinda spread his serpent hood over the Buddha's head, protecting him from the inclement weather. And when the storm subsided, Mukalinda assumed his human form, bowed to the Buddha, and returned to his underground palace. Nagas are a peaceful people. In mythology, they only defend themselves and never attack, even though they have had ample reason to do so. Take, for instance, the great serpent sacrifice initiated by Janamejaya, the hero of the ancient Indian epic Mahabharata. Here is what the Mahabharata says about these sacrifices. I cannot list all those who perished in the blazing fire. Among these serpents were 7-headed, 2-headed, and even 5-headed ones. These dreadful creatures, whose venom was as destructive as an all-consuming fire, were sacrificed by the hundreds of thousands. They possessed immense strength and were of such colossal size that when they raised themselves on their tails, they resembled mountain peaks. Some of them reached a length of a whole yojana, and some even 2 yojanas. They could assume various forms and move wherever they desired, and their terrifying venom could scorch like a blazing flame. But they met their death in this grand sacrifice. However, Nagas from gaming universes are not so peaceful. There they have taken up swords. Have you ever come across Nagas or similar creatures in books, movies, or games? If so, share your thoughts in the comments. And that concludes today's video. If you enjoyed it, look for more on the channel and subscribe to stay updated with new videos. That's all for now. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next videos.